Esmeralda Upton. On August 24, 2022, four Indian American women had just finished dinner at the 60 Vines restaurant in Plano, Texas, when their pleasant evening took a dark turn. Dr. Bidisha Rudra, Sabori Saha, Indrani Banerjee, and Anamika Chatterjee were chatting in the parking lot when 58-year-old Esmeralda Upton approached them completely unprovoked and began yelling racial slurs. Upton told them to go back to India, claiming Indians are ruining this country, while mocking their accents.
Go back to India! Why? We don't want you here!
The verbal assault quickly turned physical. Upton punched and kicked at least one of the women, body-checked another, and then reached into her purse as if pulling out a gun.
God, she's hitting me! She's hitting me!
She threatened the group. The women had started recording the incident on their phones, capturing nearly 2.5 minutes of Upton's aggressive behavior. When one of the women called 911 and described Upton to the dispatcher as a white woman, this further enraged Upton, who insisted she was Mexican and had her way here. The video went viral on social media, sparking national outrage and widespread condemnation. Neighbors reported that Upton, who lived in a $1.5 million home in Plano, was known locally but went into hiding after the incident became public. Upton was arrested the following day and charged with misdemeanor assault causing bodily injury and making terroristic threats. She was released on $10,000 bond. The case moved slowly over nearly 2 years, with the FBI and Department of Justice getting involved to investigate potential hate crime enhancements. On June 21, 2024, Upton pleaded guilty to 3 counts of misdemeanor assault and 1 count of terroristic threat, each enhanced as a hate crime. She was sentenced to 2 years of community supervision probation and 40 days in jail to be served on weekends. The victims also pursued civil action, filing a lawsuit against Upton for assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and defamation.
I felt extremely humiliated that this could have happened in a place like this.
We definitely want to see justice served,
so that people cannot dare to do this.
By January 2025, the civil suit was successfully resolved with a confidential settlement that provided financial compensation and closure. While Upton's attack was motivated by xenophobia, our next Karen took her racism to another level, targeting a black family simply trying to enjoy a meal together. Christine Longo. On June 14, 2020, amid heightened racial tensions following the George Floyd protests, Christine Longo unleashed an unprovoked racist tirade that would make national headlines. The 34-year-old white woman from South Kingstown, Rhode Island, was leaving the Coast Guard House restaurant in Narragansett when she spotted Adot Akpabi, a 43-year-old black cargo plane pilot originally from Togo, entering the restaurant. Akpabi had arrived with his wife and 2 teenage daughters to request a table while his family reviewed the menu outside. The moment Longo saw Akpabi in the foyer, she began yelling profanities and racial slurs at him. Akpabi, stunned, froze and attempted to de-escalate by asking what the issue was, but Longo continued her aggressive outburst, pointing at him and drawing attention from other patrons throughout the restaurant.
The defendant approached him, saying, "A black guy, look at this black guy." She was about an arm's length away, maskless, gesturing wildly and yelling at him, "Go back where you came from."
But Longo wasn't finished. She exited the building and approached the rest of the Akpabi family outside. Getting within inches of them, she towered over the 14-year-old daughter and screamed. The family described feeling humiliated and terrified. Akpabi later testified that he was caught completely off guard and unsure how to respond, while his daughter felt particularly targeted and intimidated by the aggressive woman looming over her.
Why are you doing this to us? Why are you saying this to us?
I felt humiliated, and I was in shock. It made me feel unwelcome.
The incident lasted several minutes and was witnessed by restaurant staff and other diners, though it wasn't captured on video. Police arrived shortly after the Akpabis called 911, and Longo was located nearby. Longo was arrested on the spot and charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct, with prosecutors seeking a hate crime enhancement. Her case proceeded to a bench trial in Washington County District Court in May and June 2021. Longo's defense attorney argued her speech was protected under the First Amendment as free speech, not rising to fighting words, and that the hate crime statute didn't apply. On June 8, 2021, Judge James Cariulo found Longo guilty of disorderly conduct, describing her actions as vile and disgusting, and a racist tirade that caused unnecessary alarm.
Frankly, miss, I'm not going to pull any punches. Your conduct, your language, vile and disgusting. quite frankly. I don't know why the state didn't charge you with an assault charge, because the facts were there as they related to that 14-year-old child. You invaded that child's personal space, you yelled in her face, you pointed in her face. Clearly, that was conduct that would make a reasonable person apprehensive of what you were going to do next. And had they charged you with that, there's a very good chance that you'd be taking a ride to the ACR.
However, he declined the hate crime enhancement, ruling that the statute's language limited it to felonies or specific misdemeanors, not disorderly conduct. The following day, Longo was sentenced to a suspended 6-month jail term, 6 months of probation, 50 hours of community service, mandatory anger management classes, diversity and inclusion counseling, and a no trespass order at the Coast Guard House restaurant. Both sides appealed, but as of 2025, no further updates have been reported. From a restaurant entrance to a parking lot, the next Karen's Christmas Eve meltdown involved not just slurs, but a weapon that left victims fearing for their lives. Amber Rocco. December 24, 2018, should have been a joyful day of last-minute Christmas shopping for Keeson Goodyear and his girlfriend Emera Roberson. Instead, it became a nightmare that would be viewed millions of times online. The young black couple was at Gandalf's Smoke and Vape Shop in McMinnville, Oregon, with Roberson's 15-month-old daughter and aunt when 39-year-old Amber Rocco erupted into a violent, racist tirade over a minor parking dispute. Rocco, who was parked in a handicapped spot without a permit, accused Roberson's aunt of parking crooked and blocking her pickup truck. The argument quickly escalated when Rocco slapped and spit on Goodyear's chest. When he confronted her about using the N-word, Rocco pulled a knife from her pocket and began brandishing it threateningly while repeatedly shouting the N-word at the couple. "N-word this, N-word that," she screamed, advancing toward them aggressively and pointing the blade in their direction. Roberson, positioned in the driver's seat with her door open and her daughter in the back seat, feared for her life and her baby's safety. The child woke up crying from the commotion. Roberson began recording the incident on her phone once Rocco dropped the knife slightly but kept it visible. In the 1-minute viral video that Roberson posted to Facebook, which garnered millions of views, Rocco is seen slamming the car door on Roberson's ankle, injuring it, continuing her slurs and refusing to back down despite pleas to de-escalate. Roberson later stated the attack made her feel like we weren't even human. Rocco called 911 first to report the incident, claiming self-defense and insisting she wasn't racist because she had a mixed family. The video's virality sparked national outrage, exemplifying the Karen stereotype of an entitled white woman weaponizing racism and aggression over a trivial grievance. Rocco later apologized publicly, saying,
"I do 100% from the bottom of my heart regret saying that word. I've never in my life used that word. I have a very mixed family and I love them. I love everybody equally. I would never use. I defended myself as a human being. It got blown way out of proportion. And if people actually pay attention to the video, the last 50 seconds of that whole entire incident, everybody will realize I was defending myself."
But the victims disputed her self-defense claim, noting she initiated the physical contact. Rocco was arrested 4 days later on December 28, 2018, and charged with 2 felony counts each of first-degree intimidation and unlawful use of a weapon, plus 2 misdemeanor counts each of harassment and menacing, totaling 8 charges. The bias motivation elevated the intimidation to a hate crime under Oregon law. She posted $45,000 bail and was arraigned on January 4, 2019. On April 23, 2019, Rocco pleaded guilty to a reduced plea deal. 1 count of second-degree intimidation as a hate crime, 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon, and 2 counts of harassment. She received 30 days in jail, 3 years of probation, mandatory anger management counseling, and fines. The judge noted the hate crime enhancement due to the vile racial motivation. Rocco served her time without reported violations. Our final Karen proves that sometimes the most mundane triggers, like a television program in a different language, can unleash the ugliest displays of hatred. Rita Bello. On February 23, 2023, Rita Bello walked into Amy's Family Pizzeria in Hatboro, Pennsylvania, and ordered food. But when the 55-year-old certified public accountant noticed the restaurant's television was airing a Spanish-language program, she completely lost it. Bello viewed the Spanish TV as an affront to her family's long-standing American heritage, boasting that her family had lived in the area for 200 years, and that her father was a World War II veteran.
You want to have Spanish on your TV?
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Because you're not American, dude. I will look you the up and get you out of our town. Okay?
Belu demanded a refund and approached the counter, berating the restaurant's Latino co-owner, Omar Quiñones. Belu accused Quiñones of disrespecting veterans by playing Spanish content and implied she could have him deported. When Quiñones calmly asked what was wrong with playing Spanish programming, Belu escalated further. She mocked his accent, called additional staff not white, and insisted they process her credit card refund immediately.
Yeah, give me my money back. I'm not giving my money to some illegal immigrant. I don't care. You got you're in America. You're supposed to learn English. You got Spanish. Well, then you got Spanish on your TV. That's a to Americans, dude. My father was a World War II veteran. Okay, his friends and family died.
Kellen Flores, Quiñones' wife and co-owner, began recording the approximately 2-minute confrontation on her phone. Upon noticing the camera, Belu accused Flores of being the racist, and pulled out her own phone to film back, claiming she was being bullied because I am white, and boasting of her 4,000 followers.
Videotaping me.
Yeah, because you're racist. You're racist.
No,
yes,
no,
you are.
You're a victim.
You're racist.
You're a victim.
I'm not a victim.
You're a
no,
victim.
I'm not.
No, I'm an American.
No, you're a racist.
victim.
You're a
victim.
racist.
You're a victim.
You're a
You're
racist.
the racist.
No,
You're
I'm not
the
racist. I'm not over here trying to get my money
No,
back
come
because
on. Oh, I can do
you're
this
shopping at a
too.
pizza shop.
I'm just asking
No
for
one
a
can.
credit back. You're the racist. I can do this with my phone too. I can do the same thing.
Show everybody that you're
the
racist.
You're the racist.
She repeatedly invoked her whiteness, later telling police, I'm white, I'm racist, and I'm too damn white. Belu, dealing with breast cancer and caregiving for her ailing father, later attributed her behavior to being emotionally unstable, insisting she was not a racist, but admitting it came out sideways on innocent people. Belu was charged on March 3, 2023, with ethnic intimidation, a hate crime and harassment. She waived her preliminary hearing and sought diversion to behavioral health court, citing her cancer and family stress, but a psychological evaluation found no severe mental illness, and the request was denied. On December 20, 2023, Belu pleaded guilty to the reduced harassment charge as part of a plea deal. The ethnic intimidation count was dropped. She received 90 days of probation, 8 hours of community service, and was ordered to write an apology letter to Quiñones, his staff, and the pizzeria. No jail time or fines were imposed. Belu expressed remorse in court, stating, I'm profoundly sorry. I deserve to be in trouble for this. What I did was very wrong. Quiñones expressed satisfaction with the outcome, noting the emotional toll but appreciating the accountability.